Today I will be performing an install of Linux using the BlindArch distribution. This distribution install is a series of bash scripts based on the eznix scripts. Many changes have been made to the install media to create an easier install for those needing text-to-speech setup by default. I will go over the options, but allow the text-to-speech utility to read the screen as choices are made. I have made the speech set to normal speed, which may be a bit frustrating for some blind users, but please bear with me. I'm also trying to accommodate all users, including those with whom English is a second language. With that said, let's get started. All right, so we're going to be using QEMU to boot this up. When installing on legacy systems, the installer menu is laid out with the speech options selected by default, unlike the regular Arch installer, which requires the user to select the correct menu option without a prompt. In UEFI, this is also the case. However, the menu options are laid out in a different manner than what I'm going to read to you here in a moment. This is something I will be fixing in a later update. Now, for legacy, the menu layout install is as follows. First option, speech option with big text. Second option, silent option with big text. Third, boot existing OS. Fourth, run mem test. Fifth, hardware information. Sixth, reboot. And seventh, power off. Please be aware that the Espeak service does not launch here, so other options will not grant you text-to-speech. It is recommended when running this blind install that you simply boot up and let the system start on its own so that you can get the Espeak service running, and then you'll be able to run through everything else with ease. With all of that said, let's go ahead and pick the first option and get started. There'll be just a few seconds of silence as it starts the Espeak service.
OK started software speech output for speak up. OK finished screen reader service. OK started getty on TTY1. OK reached target login prompts. OK started set font.service. Arch Linux 5.10.13 Arch 1-2 TTY1. Arch ISO login. Root automatic login. To install Arch Linux, follow the installation guide. https://wiki.archlinux.org/index.php/installation guide for Wi-Fi. Authenticate to the wireless network using the IWCTL utility. Ethernet and Wi-Fi connections using DHCP should work automatically. After connecting to the internet, the installation guide can be accessed via the convenience script installation guide. Root at Arch ISO.
The BlindArch build installs a custom service that copies the relevant files over to the root directory and sets them as executable. From the root directory, we can do ls to see the 3 installer scripts that are loaded.
eznarc.bio install root at Arch ISO.
All we need to do now is run /install to begin the installation.
/install, line 134, continue, only meaningful in a for, while, or until, loop, EZArcher script downloader and launcher modified for BlindArch version 1.5 release brought to you by eznix. https://sourceforge.net/projects/eznarc/ modified by the BlindArch team. https://github.com/blindcomputing/blindarch. Welcome to the BlindArch distro. EZArcher installer. Choose install script to launch. 1. Update Arch Linux Keyring. 2. Run installer for legacy system. 3. Run installer for UEFI system. 4. Adjust speaking speed. X exit. Enter your choice.
When you first start up, I'd recommend updating your keyring. Just pick option 1 and run it. We'll do that now.
1. Synchronizing package databases core 0.0b 0.00b/s000% core 131.9 kb 1000 space.
Okay, I've hit a space so we don't have to listen to every keyring read off. It only takes about 5-10 seconds for that to run, but it does spit all the data to your screen. So generally, if you're on a regular computer, normal speed in 2021, you're good to just hit space after about 10 seconds. It shouldn't take that long to update the keyring. Okay, so now we have two options. You can do UEFI or legacy. In my particular case, because I'm on QEMU, I'm just going to do legacy. But if you want to do a UEFI system, you've got UEFI installed on your BIOS, which is the most common, just hit option 3 instead of option 2. In addition, if you want to adjust the speaking speed, you can hit number 4. It'll walk you through the steps to do that as well. But for now, we're just going to go to the installer for the legacy system by hitting number 2.
2 /ezoc.bios, line 1281. Continue. Only meaningful in a for, while, or until, loop. BIOS legacy install main menu. EZArcher installer main menu. 1 username, passwords, and hostname. 2 choose device type and partition drive. 3 install base system Packstrap. 4 set fstab hostname users time and locale. 5 install broad categories of software. 6 choose desktop. 7 install Grub. X exit. Enter your choice.
Under main menu, as you've probably heard, there are 7 options. I recommend when using the scripted install, you go through each menu item from start to finish and in order. You can choose during the submenus to select different options, but it's very important you get through all 7 steps to get a working desktop. So for the beginning, we will pick option 1 to start, and that'll be username, passwords, and hostname.
1. User password hostname menu. 1 create username. 2 make user password. 3 add user to pseudo group. 4 make root password. 5 make hostname. Return to menu. Please enter your choice.
Okay, so as you can hear those options, they're pretty straightforward. The first thing I'm going to do is we'll go ahead and just create a username, and I'm just going to use test user as the name.
1. Type your username and press enter. TESTUSER. Username set to test user. User password hostname menu. 1 create username. 2 make user password. 3 add user to pseudo group. 4 make root password. 5 make hostname. Return to menu. Please enter your choice.
Alright, so we've created the username. We're now going to create a password. This will require you to type the password twice. So you'll type once, hit enter, and then type it again.
2. Type your user password and press enter. Type the password again. User password set. Moving to prior menu. User password hostname menu. 1 create username. 2 make user password. 3 add user to pseudo group. 4 make root password. 5 make hostname. Return to menu. Please enter your choice.
We have added the user and password. In this case, I'm going to add the user to sudo. So we'll pick option 3 here.
3. Do you want to add user to pseudo group? Yes or no? Y. E. S. Test user added to pseudo group. User password hostname menu. 1 create username. 2 make user password. 3 add user to pseudo group. 4 make root password. 5 make hostname. Return to menu. Please enter your choice.
Alright, so we've added the user to sudo. Now we're going to make a root password.
4. Type your root password and press it. Type the password again. Root password set. Moving to prior menu. User password hostname menu. 1 create username. 2 make user password. 3 add user to pseudo group. 4 make root password. 5 make hostname. Return to menu. Please enter your choice.
Now, to be clear, I am allowing the menu to read down so that you know each option. But keep in mind, if you're getting sick and tired, you already know where to go. You can just hit your space bar. It'll stop. It'll just say space. It'll stop it from reading the rest of the menu. So if you're running through it real quick, you know you need to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You've done this a few times. You can hit space. It'll stop the speech. So anyways, we've made a root password. Now we're going to make hostname.
5. Type your hostname, be exact, and press enter. O-T.
So I'm just going to call it test host.
Hostname set to test host. User password hostname menu. 1. Create username. 2. Make user password. 3. Add user to sudo group. 4. Make root password. 5. Make hostname. R. Return to menu. Please enter your choice.
And we're just going to go R to go back to the primary menu.
EZArcher installer main menu. 1. Username, passwords, and hostname. 2. Choose device type and partition drive. 3. Install base system Packstrap. 4. Set ftab hostname users time and locale. 5. Install broad categories of software. 6. Choose desktop. 7. Install Grub. X exit. Enter your choice.
We will now pick option 2, which is choose device type and partition drive. Keep in mind this will wipe the drive you choose. It will allow you to choose your root and swap sizes, and then it'll set the rest of the space to a home partition. If you use this tool, you will lose all data on this drive. Please know what you are doing if you are running this software.
Choose SATA or NVMe disk. 1. SATA disk. 2. NVMe disk. R. Return to menu. Please enter your choice.
It is important to know if you're running a SATA or NVMe drive due to how the partitioning tool reads the drives and writes to them. If you're not sure of this option, it is important to know before continuing. Failure to input correct parameters can result in a non-bootable system. Due to my running a virtual disk in QEMU, I will be selecting SATA.
1. Partition drive. 1. Enter device name, for example SDA. 2. Choose swap partition size. 3. Choose root partition size. 4. Create partitions. 5. Format partitions. 6. Mount partitions. R. Return to menu. Please enter your choice.
We will start with option 1 to select which drive to wipe and set the system up on. We're simply giving it the device name so it can be used later in the scripts.
Check to see the available drives. Name, size, type, mount point. Loop 0678.6 m loop /run /archiso /sfs /airroot SR 0802.3 m rom /run /archiso /bootment VDA 40G disk VDA 18 PTD25 at VDA 335G part. Type your target device, for example SDA, be exact, and press enter.
Okay, and just to be clear, this LS block has been cut down in options, so it didn't give you too much extra goop. In addition, you'll notice when you were listening to the LS block, VDA already has a partition. I do the install on this all the time, every day. Usually I'm screwing around with it a little bit to tweak it out, make it a little bit better. So that's why there's already partitions, because I've already done the install on this particular drive. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and redo it all. So we're going to type VDA.
Target device set to VDA. Partition drive. 1. Enter device name, for example SDA. 2. Choose swap partition size. 3. Choose root partition size. 4. Create partitions. 5. Format partitions. 6. Mount partitions. R. Return to menu. Please enter your choice.
Okay, so we've specified VDA. So now we're just going to choose the swap. Now in this virtual machine, I have, I believe, 8 gigs of RAM specified and 4 processors. So we're just going to pick 2 for swap partition size.
Pick swap partition size in gigabytes X. 2, 4, 8.
I'm just going to give it 4. It's fine.
4. Swap partition set to 4 GB. Partition drive. 1. Enter device name, for example SDA. 2. Choose swap partition size. 3. Choose root partition size. 4. Create partitions. 5. Format partitions. 6. Mount partitions. R. Return to menu. Please enter your choice.
Now keep in mind with the swap and root and all of that, you just type in the number of gigs and it'll just set it for you. So you don't have to type anything else. You just type a number and hit enter. So now we're going to choose the root partition size. Now this is a 40 gig drive, but I don't need to use the whole drive. But I'll set it to like 30 or something. We'll see what happens.
3. Pick root partition size in gigabytes X. 20, 40, 80.
So it's just example 20, 40, 80. In this particular case, I'll just set 30 just
0.
for the heck of it.
Root partition set to 30 GB. Partition drive. 1. Enter device name, for example SDA. 2. Choose swap partition size. 3. Choose root partition size. 4. Create partitions. 5. Format partitions. 6. Mount partitions. R. Return to menu. Please enter your choice.
Now, when we pick 4 to create partitions, it's going to wipe any partitions on the drive. It may warn you, it may not. I don't know if I've wiped out the warnings on this, but it's going to just wipe the partitions. So know what you're doing here.
4. 8,192 0 records in. 8,192 0 records out. 4,194,304 bytes. 4.2 MB. 4.0 MB copied. 0.555232S. 7.6 MB/s. 8,192 0 records in. 8,192 0 records out. 4,194,304 bytes. 4.2 MB. 4.0 MB copied. 0.210996S. 19.9 MB/s. Warning. Partition table header claims that the size of partition table entries is 0 bytes, but this program supports only 128 byte entries, adjusting accordingly, but partition table may be garbage. Warning. Partition table header claims that the size of partition table entries is 0 bytes, but this program supports only 128 byte entries, adjusting accordingly, but partition table may be garbage. Creating new GPT entries in memory. The operation has completed successfully. Setting name part is 0. The operation has completed successfully. Setting name part is 1. The operation has completed successfully. Setting name part is 2. The operation has completed successfully. Setting name part is 3. The operation has completed successfully. Partitions created on Vda Partition Drive. 1. Enter device name, for example SDA. 2. Choose swap partition size. 3. Choose root partition size. 4. Create partitions. 5. Format partitions. 6. Mount partitions. Return to menu. Please enter your choice.
Okay, so now the partitions have all been created. Just again, to make it 100% clear, when you're doing this, as you're hearing all of that, you probably don't need to wait until it's completed. You can probably, once you've waited about 30, 40 seconds, if you're using an SATA drive and not a regular drive, like a regular Rust drive, then you can pretty much just hit space after about 5 minutes, or not even 5 minutes, probably like 30 seconds to a minute. But just depends on how big of a drive you're doing and all of that. So just keep that in mind. So anyways, we've created the partitions. Now we can format partitions. That's option 5.
MK swap /dev/VDA2. Warning. Wiping old swap signature. Setting up swap space version 1. Size 4 GB 4,294,963,200 bytes. Label swap. UID 4C04E164-8441-4441-959 C39167A8F4D3B MKE2FS1.46.029 Jan 2020 /dev/VDA3 contains lif file data. Proceed anyway. YN.
Okay, whenever you get a message like this, it's telling you that the partition was there already, and you're going to be rewriting over it. So if you're doing this on a drive with other partitions, it's probably going to warn you. If you get that proceed anyway, you just hit Y, and it'll just continue. And we're going to actually have this happen a second time, so I'm just going to hit Y so we don't have to listen to the whole thing.
Y. Partitions formatted. Partition Drive. 1. Enter device name, for example SDA. 2. Choose swap partition size. 3. Choose root partition size. 4. Create partitions. 5. Format partitions. 6. Mount partitions. Return to menu. Please enter your choice.
Okay, it's very important at this screen after you've formatted that you mount your partitions. If you don't go through every step on this script, you'll probably have issues when you try and do stuff. You have to go back, and really you can go back. I made the variables for the drive global, so you can literally just go back, and if you screw up and you return and you go, oh crap, I need to come back to Partition Drive, and you didn't mount, you can just go back and hit 6 to mount. Or if you only got to 4 and you created the partitions but you never did 5 to format, again, you can just go back to Partition Drive, hit 5. it'll start off where you left off. I made those variables global specifically so that you could always go back and make changes before you finalized your install. So anyways, we're going to go ahead and mount partitions.
6. Mounted partitions.
And
Partition Drive. 1. Enter device name, for example, SDA space.
And I'm going to space out of the menu sound because that's like the 6th time we've heard it. So I'm going to return to menu.
EZArcher installer main menu. 1. Username, passwords, and hostname. 2. Choose device type and partition drive. 3. Install base system Packstrap. 4. Set fstab hostname, users time, and locale. 5. Install broad categories of software. 6. Choose desktop. 7. Install Grub. X exit. Enter your choice.
Now we are back to the main menu again. We will install a base system Packstrap. This will install some extra packages not generally needed for a bare bones system. However, these packages will most likely be needed over the long-term use of the system for most use cases. Feel free to git clone and modify this install to your liking if you don't want some of these packages.
3. Creating install root at /mnt. Installing packages to /mnt. Synchronizing package databases. Core 0.0b 0.00b /s 000%. Core 132.4 kb 1891 kb /s 000 100%. Extra 0.0b 0.00b /s 000%. Extra 1654.5 kb 16.7 MB /s 000 100%. Community 0.0b 0.00b /s 000%. Community 5.4 MB 35.1 MB /s 000 100%. There are 24 members in group base devel. Repository core 1 autoconf 2 automake 3 binutils 4 bison 5 fake root 6 file 7 fndl 8 flxgw 1 gc1 gtet 2 rp3 rof 14 gzip 15 libtool 16 m4 17 make 18 pacman 19 patch 20 pkgconf 21 sed 22 sudo 23 texinfo 24 which enter a selection default all resolving dependencies there are 2 providers available for resolveconf repository core 1 open resolve 2 system resolveconf enter a number default 1 looking for conflicting packages 159 ACL 2.2.53-3 Arch Linux Keyring 20,210,110-1 Argon 2-20,190,000 space.
Okay, I've spaced out of the entire install. It would take quite a while for it to read off everything that does everything that it's installed through the base system with Packstrap. Now we will set fstab, hostname, users, time, and locale. The time and locale are curled from ipapi.co to get the time zone, languages, and country. So if you're behind a proxy, let's hope it has an IP close to you. Anyways, it's option 4, and it goes pretty quick.
4. Generating locales. nus.ut8.done. Generation complete. Basic system config completed. EZArcher installer main menu. 1 username, passwords, and hostname. 2 choose device type and partition drive. 3 install base system Packstrap. 4 set fstab hostname users time and locale. 5 install broad categories of software. 6 choose desktop. 7 install Grub. X exit. Enter your choice.
Okay, so option 5 is somewhat optional. Installs broad categories of software. For Blind Arch, I would highly recommend you go in here and get some of the stuff. So we're going to hit number 5, and I'll kind of go over what options you want to use.
5. Install software categories. 1 Xorg, 2 general, 3 multimedia, 4 networking, 5 fonts, 6 printing support, 7 VirtualBox support. Return to menu. Please enter your choice.
There are 7 software categories here to install. For most users, I'd recommend installing the first 6, as option 7 is VirtualBox drivers, which is really only needed for VirtualBox installs. The first option is Xorg, and we'll go ahead and pick that now.
1. Creating install root at /mnt. Installing packages to /mnt. Synchronizing package databases. Core is up to date. Extra is up to date. Community is up to date. There are 48 members in group Xorg. Repository extra 1xf86 video Mesa 2 Xorg BDF topic 3 Xorg docs 4 Xorg font util 5 Xorg fonts 100 dpi 6 Xorg fonts 75 dpi 7 Xorg fonts encodings 8 Xorg isource 9 Xorg mk font space.
All right, Xorg is installed now.
Space.
I just hit space to stop the speech. So we're going to go into General, which is the second option. And it's just going to install a broad category of general software that most people use in Linux.
Creating install root at /mnt. Installing packages to /mnt. Synchronizing package databases. Core is up to date. Extra is up to date. Community is up to date. Warning. Diff utils 3.7-3 is up to date. Reinstalling. Warning. ManDB 2.9.3-1 is up to date. Reinstalling. Warning. Perl 5.32.0-3 is up to date. Reinstalling. Warning. Texinfo 6.7-3 is up to date. Reinstalling. Warning. Which 2.21-5 is up to date. Reinstalling. Warning. Xmed 5.2.5-1 is up to date. Reinstalling. Warning. Bash completion 2.11-1 is up to date. Reinstalling. Resolving dependencies. Looking for conflicting packages. Warning. Dependency cycle detected. Warning. USB mux will be installed before its libmobile device dependency. Warning. Dependency cycle detected. Warning. Sys utils will be installed before its SMB client dependency. Packages 206 Adobe Source Code Pro Fonts 2.03801.058 1.018 var 1 Adwaiter Icon Theme 3.38.0-1 ALSA lib 1.2.4-3 ALSA Topology Conf 1.2.4-2 ALSA UCOM Conf 1.2.4-2 APRA 1.7.0-3 APRA util 1.6.1-8
Okay, general packages are installed. We'll now install Multimedia, which is option 3. This one is particularly important as it installs a lot of sound and visual utilities, so probably best not to skip this one.
3. Creating install root at /mnt. Installing packages to /mnt. Synchronizing package databases. Core is up to date. Extra is up to date. Community is up to date. Warning. GStreamer 1.18.3-1 is up to date. Reinstalling. Resolving dependencies. Looking for conflicting packages. Packages 193A52 deck 0.7.4-11 Alib 1.4 RC5-14 Aeon 2.0.1-1 Babel 0.1.82-1 Lars 3.9.0-3 CD Paranoia 10.2-8 Chroma Print 1.5.0-3 Nav 1D 0.8. Space.
All right, spaced out Multimedia packages are installed. And we're going to go ahead and just install the networking packages. Now, I'm going to skip printing support and VirtualBox support, which is number 6 and number 7, but we'll install networking and fonts. So 4 is networking.
Creating install root at /mnt. Installing packages to /mnt. Synchronizing package databases. Core is up to date. Extra is up to date. Community is up to date. Warning. Curl 7.75.0-1 is up to date. Reinstalling. Warning. VMRAID 1.0.0 RC16.3-12 is up to date. Reinstalling. Warning. Bind 9.16.11-1 is up to date. Reinstalling. Warning. OpenSH 8.4p1-2 is up to date. Reinstalling. Warning. OpenSUL 1.1.1i2 is up to date. Reinstalling. Warning. Avahi 0.815G8A3DD0-3 is up to date. Reinstalling. Warning. OpenResolve 3.12.0-1 is up to date. Reinstalling. Resolving dependencies. There are 8 providers available for TTF font. Repository extra 1 GNU free fonts 2 Noto fonts 3 TTF bitstream Vera 4 TTF crosscore 5 TTF Dejavu repository community 6 TTF Droid 7 TTF IBM Plex 8 TTF Liberation. Enter a number space.
Okay, and so now we've completed networking install. Some of the things that installs is like Firefox. It installs like some OpenVPN stuff. So, installs, FileZilla, Thunderbird, stuff like that. Things that most folks want. Again, you can read the package list. All right, so we're going to do fonts. Not a huge deal, but might be useful, especially if you have low vision and you want to get larger fonts. Maybe this will have some fonts for you that help you get some work done.
Creating install root at /mnt, installing packages to /mnt, synchronizing package databases, core is up to date, extra is up to date, community is up to date, warning, can't tell pace.
All right, so fonts are installed. We're going to skip printing support and VirtualBox support, but again, if you want to do that, feel free. It adds all kinds of options for you. VirtualBox is mostly just if you're installing this in a VM and you're not using QEMU, this installs some of the dependencies that VirtualBox needs to do the VirtualBox stuff. I've had it work without the install, but from what I understand, some of those VirtualBox packages are important, so we just made a separate one just in case somebody wanted to experiment with this. All right, so we're going to go back to the return. So hit R to return to menu.
EZArcher installer main menu, 1 username, passwords, and hostname, 2 choose device type and partition drive, 3 install base system Packstrap, 4 set ftab hostname users time and locale, 5 install broad categories of software, 6 choose desktop, 7 install Grub, X exit, enter your choice.
Okay, so now we're going to choose our desktop. Now there's a few options, so let's get to it. We'll hit number 6.
6. Desktop install menu warning. These installers enable auto login by default. 1 i3, 2 mate, 3 gnome, 4 cinnamon, 5 xfce, n notes for environments menu, p package list menu, r return to menu. Please enter your choice.
The desktop install menu has 7 options. The first 5 are the desktops. We currently have a slightly customized version of i3 that has some special options for the blind. Mate, Gnome, Cinnamon, and XFCE. All of these installs enable auto login by default, and that's because of some issues we have seen with Orca and Espeak not working in LightDM. They also all turn on Orca and Espeak services at launch, so everything should be ready to go after the install is completed. As for other options on this menu, there is a notes option for the desktop installs under option N, and a package list menu under option P. This package list menu will just give you a list of all the packages for each individual desktop if you'd like to read them before you do the install. Finally, there's the option of R just to return to the main menu. For today, we'll just do a quick GNOME install.
Creating install root at /mnt, installing packages to /mnt, synchronizing package databases, core is up to date, extra is up to date, community is up to date, there are 66 members in group GNOME, repository extra, 1 Baobab, 2 cheese, 3 og, 4 epiphany, 5 events, 6 file roller, 7 GDM, 8 gedit, 9 GNOME backgrounds, 10 GNOME books, 11 GNOME calculator, 12 GNOME calendar, 13 GNOME characters, 14 GNOME clocks, 15 GNOME color manager, 16 GNOME contacts, 17 GNOME control center, 18 GNOME disk utility, 19 GNOME documents, 20 GNOME font viewer, 21 GNOME getting started docs, 22 GNOME keyring, 23 GNOME logs, 24 GNOME maps, 25 GNOME menus, 26 GNOME music, 27 GNOME photos, 28 GNOME remote desktop, 29 GNOME screenshot, 30 GNOME session, 31 GNOME settings daemon, 32 GNOME shell, 33 GNOME shell extensions, 34 GNOME software, 35 GNOME system monitor, 36 GNOME terminal, 37 GNOME themes extra, 38 GNOME user docs, 39 GNOME user share, 40 GNOME video effects, 41 GNOME weather, 42 Brelo plugins, 43 GVFS, 44 GVFS AFK, 45 GVFS Goa, 46 GVFS Google, 47 GVFS Gphoto 2, 48 GVFS MTP, 49 GVFS NFS, 50 GVFS SMB, 51 Mutter, 52 Nautilus, 53 Network Manager 54 Orca 55 Rigel 56 Sushi 57 Totem 58 Tracker 59 Tracker minus 60 Tracker 361 Tracker 3 minus 62 Vino 63 XDG User Dias GTK 64 Yelp Repository Community 65 Gnome Boxes 66 6 Space.
Alright, I've hit space to get it stopped talking. Gnome is installed. Looks like it worked. I haven't actually done an install on Gnome in probably a month. I've been messing around with i3 and Mate lately, so hopefully they didn't change something and broke our auto login. Anyways, what we need to do now is go back to the main menu, and then we need to install Grub. So we're going to hit R.
EZArcher installer main menu. 1 username, passwords, and hostname. 2 choose device type and partition drive. 3 install base system Packstrap. 4 set ftab hostname users time and locale. 5 install broad categories of software. 6 choose desktop. 7 install Grub. X exit. Enter your choice.
Okay, so at this point we should be able to hit 7 to install Grub. This will get us our bootloader and just let us launch into the computer.
7. Installing for i386 PC platform. Installation finished. No error reported. Generating Grub configuration file. Found Linux image. /boot/VM Linux LTS. Found initted image. /boot/Intel ucode.img /boot/AMD ucode.img /boot/initramps Linux LTS.img. Found fallback initted image in /boot. Initramps Linux LTS fallback.img. Done. Building image from preset. /etc/mkinit.po.d/linux lts.preset default k/boot/vm linux lts c/etc/mkinit.po.space.
I've hit space. Grub finished. So we're gonna exit out. That means we've done everything we need to do. All 7 options.
Welcome to the Blind Arch distro. EZArcher installer. Choose
point,
install script
we can exit
to launch.
the other
1
installer.
update Arch Linux Keyring. 2 run installer for legacy X.
So we hit X to exit.
/install 149.62 user 73.79 system 8% CPU 44:16.59 total root at Arch ISO.
Yeah, it'll just say that at the end. So at this point, you could power off, reboot. Just type reboot, and it'll reboot into your desktop. In this particular case, since I am in QEMU and I have it set up to always boot off the CD, it's going to boot into the CD screen for me. So I'm going to need to select on my screen to boot into the machine.
REBOOT.
So I'm going to type reboot, hit enter. And it'll take a second. And then in my particular case, again, because I'm running the VM and I run this all the time, I have it set up to just automatically boot off the disk every time. So I can boot off my ISO and then test new versions. But anyways, we're going to pick boot existing OS, which is actually the 3rd option down. And it will go to a Grub screen, which will default to your Arch Linux. Also, keep in mind this Arch Linux does install the LTS kernel. It doesn't install the latest kernel.
Screen reader on. 08 push button. Notification. Screen lock disabled. Screen locking requires the Gnome Display Manager.
Okay, so we should be in Gnome. And if you hit the super key,
overview panel,
you should be able to just type terminal.
TMIL. Terminal. Backspace.
Firefox.
FOX. Firefox push button.
Right? And you can just log
Return.
in.
Welcome to Firefox M-Mozilla Firefox frame. Search or enter address editable combo box. Finished loading Firefox privacy notice M-Mozilla.
I'm going to close out of Firefox. If I can click the button.
Quit and close tabs. Dialog you are about to. Window.
So, anywho, there we go. We have a fully installed Gnome version, you got all kinds of options, all kinds of software.
Window.
There's tons of stuff installed automatically. Not tons, just all the bare basics. You got VLC, so music, videos can be done. You got Thunderbird for email. Firefox is installed. You know, Python's on the machine automatically, obviously. So basically, any of your main stuff that you would want, like, you know, gparted, you know, transmission if you want to get torrents. So there's plenty of stuff that's just default, but we try to keep it as small as possible. Keeping with the Arch philosophy, we don't really want to install a bunch of stuff for you. But again, you can just hit your super key, type in terminal, then go in and do whatever you want to do. So the whole point here is get you going quick. So this is what is it? It's February 8th, so 2021. So this is this version. And we'll do more installs, and hopefully this helps. Until next time,